Hello, it is Josh again. I've had dinner. I am recording a new episode now. It was nice. The ice cream was nice. I did not have all of it. It's very good. So, I'm going to do something a little different. I think I said I was going to, make something after having not made anything during the last episode, but I've decided against that. So, I'm going to show you what I was working on before starting a multiplayer idea. And that would be Null. In all reality, I don't actually know how to pronounce either one of these. If you want to explore these worlds, those are also the seeds. With large biomes, by the way. Otherwise, you'll get something different. So let's check this out. Okay. I put a lot of time into this one. Relatively speaking. I'm sure there are people who dwarf that, but this is it. This is everything. I win Minecraft. No, not really. This is my stone hut that I began in. Origin is off that way somewhere. Or actually down the beach. This is a... Ooh, lovely. Actually, see that? That was a fortress down there. I actually discovered it because of that very same glitch, and that's why I chose the location. But anyways, I knew it was out here. This is where I started. It's just a little miner's shack. I thought these made a good effect. I also like that there are vines in here, but I don't remember putting vines in here, so I'm not sure. I must have. But note, there's a thing beyond. That there, right there, that's a marker, because there's like a underwater ravine. That was one way in and out, so I marked it. Now I must move through the jungle. So I want to show you my thing, which is not this way. It was supposed to be not a floating, but a village above, as part of or inside a castle or palace or thing. And it hasn't really failed in that, except that I don't have any villagers at this time. But it sort of became something else, and you'll probably see what once I find my way. There we go. I made a path. Actually, let me show you this. Let's see. Whew. It's not huge, but I think it came out well. Assuming it's not severely far away. Ugh. Whew. So, question. Does anybody out there in the universe of my 1 subscribers have any experience with handling their own mail servers? Specifically Exim or EXIM. I have taken on this task as a volunteer for the local Pearl Mongers group. And while I am poking my way around and becoming familiar with it, pointers would be awesome. You know, what is the right direction to look in for the appropriate answers? On the other hand, figuring it out for myself is the best way to learn. But still, little thingy. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. A road. I love leaving little rabbit trails like this, or walking paths. They're a little bit more sheep. See, when I began, when I cracked the conception of, hey, let me show off my 1-player world that I haven't played in a month or 2, I forgot that this building existed. So this wasn't part of the plan. There you go. See it over there. Blink. It's like a natural path that people would actually beat with their own feet. Let's see how. I have filled out this valley. I mean, it was already forested when I came here, but I have obviously put in a few new types of trees. Look at this. It is a lodge with a jungle tree and food and me hiccuping. It is a nice lodge, is it not? I mean, it's not Game of Thrones. I was looking, somebody I used to work with was showing me videos today of people making various Game of Thrones localities, but in my own defense, I don't know, that doesn't apply. To be fair, they were, see there, I like that you can even see the path. Oink. But, they were doing it in creative mode, and I do all this stuff in not creative mode because I like the actual challenge of having to do the work myself. It's a little bit more meaningful. Then again, the massive size of their constructions are quite a lot of work, and there is some artistic value to them, so I'm not trying to put them down. But anyways, look at this. It's not bad, is it? I don't think it is. It's not well ornamented at this point. But this would actually fetch a pretty penny pretty much anywhere in the United States if such a house like this existed. It would not go cheaply. Alright, so let me reverse course here. See? Woohoo! And head back to the real construction. Because that one was not real. In fact, you all imagined it. Just now. My experiment in mass hallucination is a success. I suppose then again, games like this are an exercise in mediated hallucination, aren't they? Anyways. Right. Wink, wink. I don't like the way the vines slow you down. Not that it's unrealistic, but especially when you start climbing randomly, that's no good. That was useful though. Okay, so I'm running. I'm sorry. This might be a short episode, or like a 0.5. How about that? I'm about 5 minutes in. I wish there was a little timer scope or something outside the view that I could see. Like, you are 4 minutes in. Oh well, I'll just show as much as there's to show. And get myself killed, that's where it's in the pit. I don't think monsters are on right now, but at least as a one-player world, I had control. Like, when I actually wanted monsters around, I could have them. But I'm still sort of holding back on the other servers so that people can settle in and feel secure about their locales. Which kind of suggests that Fabian should probably establish one soon, if he hasn't already. Maybe he has. I haven't. Because of weird nastiness regarding injections and queries and unmentionables in the work line of things. See, look at this. Okay. It was a very hectic first half of the week, so I didn't play, much less record. So it's nice to be able to. Look at this! Look at this! Look at this. Very unimpressive. No? I like the way this was completely accidental, but the tree actually is intruding on the upper level. But, let's see, can I even explain this? Now, keep in mind, I dug this out by hand. I did all of it. It helped provide a lot of material for what you will see. I like this lighting effects. Is there anything over here to see? Not really. Somewhere over here is a path that goes straight down to the end portal. Ooh, what the hell? You know what? I would come up from here and I would jump down and I got quite talented at grabbing the vines just before I splatted on the bottom. But here, I had come from a background of playing Dwarf Fortress, okay? So that is a game in which, after about a year and a half of gameplay in game time, which is, I don't know, a couple hours, Maybe more. I can't remember anymore. It's been a while. I'm still waiting for the latest version before I even try to start playing again, because it's a huge upgrade. But me gesturing. Eventually goblins will come with their armies, and you have to defend against them. And that involves some tricky business, and one of my favorite tactics is to have suspended bridges. Like this isn't one. This is a solid bridge. There are no moving parts. Okay, but you notice there's no connection here. There's no connection. There's no way up. Supposedly there's a village up here, and it sort of is, except there's nobody living there, and it's not furnished or filled out yet. There is still work left to do, but it's not connected to the bridge. So you actually have to, in order to gain entry to the village, you have to proceed along this long, narrow path, which has, guards and stuff watching you the entire way. Then you got a drawbridge here of some sort. Okay, of course it doesn't work in this game, but for effect. And then you enter into this audience chamber, and you can see there are multiple levels. Here's an exit entryway. Here's a box, like you might imagine at an old style theater, like a booth where you could watch from above if you were of a privileged caste. And then there are further floors up, so you can see sort of up through there. There's more. Hold on. You can see there are trees up there. So this needs to be filled up with Whoa, what is going on? That was not me. Okay. I also like this biome. It's like beach, but near jungle. Not that you can see it now. So there would be pews or some sort of seating for the audience, and here's the official way up into the upper cities. After a while, but as you proceed this way, and I actually have to fill these in at some point. There was a decision I was trying to make about this, but I wasn't sure what it was. But here is a dais of some sort. You can see Val Rajal is the name of the place. The royal couple would. So you can see there's a seat on this side and a seat on this side, and technically this is a seat facing backwards. I don't know what it's for, but maybe if there was a royal child or something. Or maybe if one of the royals decided they wanted to come down and look through this giant window. But they would sit here, but you notice there's no access. You can't get up. You can, I suppose someone could help you up, but you're not getting up on your own. Not at least according to the game physics of Minecraft. So it was a protected spot where they could look down upon the audience. Okay, so here's the great chamber hall. I like this effect. Ooh! 1.5 really did fix some of the lighting issues. It used to be all the indented spots were pitch black. It didn't know how to render the light. So that is an improvement. But anyways, up. Technically there's a down too. I like this, because I actually had to force back the ocean. Because this main palace actually goes all the way down. I like this where you have support beams made of, I guess, junglewood or spruce in this case. And this is still a work in project over here. But there might be dungeons down here, or how this is open. This might, I don't know what it would be, but something where you have an open plan that makes sense. And that continues going down to the bottom of the project. But here's a room. I'm not sure what this room would be for, but there's basically anything you see on this side is mirrored on the other, because I love my symmetry. And then you get out onto this thing, and some slightly privileged or maybe staff could stand up here or even guards. They could be up here and looking down on the crowd, or if some sort of small army breached, they would be at immediate disadvantage from all the archers that would be up here, supposedly. A multi-purpose thing. Another room. There would eventually be a door here, maybe a bed. So this is like a guest chamber, a guest staff chamber, because it's not big enough. Okay, here's a booth, and you notice the booth has some nice windows. So it's actually multiple booths, and you got the nice view of a buttress over here. Another booth. Again, some of the purposes of these things need to be worked out. Okay, keep going up. Keep going up. Another room. Here we get into actual apartments. And these apartments, again, remember, this is mirrored on the other side, have a deck. So you can start to see the outside of the building. But obviously it needs some sort of protection. It's also the only one like this. So it stands out too much. I like these buttresses. Basically, the buttresses hold up the building, and they keep it in place. So you can see there's some decision making here. Is this an open plan? Do I put up the walls? Turn this apartment into multiple rooms? For now, it's obviously not decided. There's also like a joiner room, almost like you have some, and you can see down onto into the chamber here. So it actually joins with the one on the far side. So let's keep going. Again, another room. This one actually looks down into the chamber again. Here, the far. There's an entryway, like right there. You don't see it, barely see it, but that's one way out of the mines down below. And then you end up in what is starting to become the village. Because this is literally a village in the sky. It doesn't fly by magic, but it's held up. It's above the entryway. And so getting access up to here, like any kind of army trying to get in, would have to fight their way every step of the way in. It's almost the reverse of some castles. Most castles are protected. I mean, they'll do some. See, look at this. Isn't this nice? Look at that. That's all very nice. But they'll have an outer wall, but then there's a buffer between the palace and, well, and the army, in that the citizens are meat. So yeah, you got little rooms. You have to forgive me, 3x3 is kind of normal in Dwarf Fortress for a bedroom size, so I keep doing it. I guess it's tiny, especially like, I watch Vintage Beef, and his stuff is all quite actually appropriately sized. This is the actual entry to the royal area. You notice it's a locked door. It's a heavy door. I will leave it for the moment, but that needs fixing. But here, rooms. You can see it's starting to get to where the rooms are not quite finished. Room. This is the lower village. So you can see it's not really meant for the higher caste of citizenry. And of course, eventually there'll be little exdentations, I guess. Maybe with a tree each, or like some little flower garden thing. And of course, a guardrail, so that if I ever bring in testificates, they won't fall off the side. And it just keeps going. Like this. See, more like this. That's a partially finished one. Here, okay, this is starting. Oh, here we go. See? Yeah. There you go. Buttress. Notice these towers end abruptly. They are going to continue going up. I do not know how far, but not any taller than the royal towers, which are. I'm no longer happy with their design, but at least they're finished for now. Also note the support beams. I'm quite happy with those for no particular reason. Is there a way in? No. Okay, yeah, so this is like maybe the chambers of the Grand Engineer or whatever, because at this far end, notice some accentuated bricks. This isn't really an active room. There's a door so that the smith can get access to this bore, but it's generally not for public access. And you see here the end of the building / village, and the tree kind of intrudes rather nicely. I'm probably going to have to get rid of it because, this happens. I hate that. I wish you could control it. But okay. And so this is the lower level. This by the way, goes down to the ground. And it's open. Like, I could have gone up from the pit, but I wanted to actually take the tour in the proper direction. And it keeps going up. To where? Okay, so nowhere in particular yet. This, notice it's nether brick, and I have obsidian and gold. Granted, it doesn't actually work this way, but the story behind it is this is a nether portal that is intercepting one of the magma flows, and it's portaling it through for my explicit use here for, it's a magma forge, like you might have in, well, a dwarf fortress, or, might have seen World of Warcraft back when it was worth playing. Which might have been never, but even so. So here, this is, I did have a bit of a quandary because I had, regular buttresses that are used to hold up buildings. And at this end, it's actually holding up the village into the sky, but it's also holding it horizontally as well as like this guy over here. And there's several of them, and for the most part, like you see here, they curve into and become a part of the edifice, except the ones on the end. So they have to curve into each other so that they actually provide support. Otherwise, they would fall over. So that's what's going on here. Maybe this will eventually become something else. But this is the upper village. So you can see all the buttresses come to their conclusion. This is my workshop now, and this belongs to the master smith, whatever. Notice this. Boink. I have just cut off the flow from the nether. Fictionally speaking. So, I mean, it's the simplest of devices. I have not really explored redstone yet, but there it goes. Technically at the bottom, there is another one that cuts it off down below if necessary instead. So, here, let me turn that back on. Let's see. So, I have things going on. I have lots of tools. Now that I know how to repair things, I should try. But I've got quite a bit of storage. It's nothing compared to some, but it's not bad. So I got information, maps. Let's see. I'm hoping one of these will be 19. Sorry, it's been a while. 9, that sounds 22. 7 is a good one, I think. Here's the locale. I think this is a 3rd level map. It might be 4th. I think it's 4th actually, because you can see. No, this is the 5th level map, the one that's like 2048 by 2048 and requires you to give up your sanity to complete, especially when you immediately lose it by falling in magma. Oh, but even in this, you can see that gray dot there. That's where we are. Here's a. Oh, it's being updated. Wow. I didn't realize it hadn't been updated in a while. Here's the actual layout of the building. So you can see it's kind of boring, really, but you can also see there's a garden up above. And we'll get there. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, that is an end portal tower, which is not around here. I'll visit one before I go. But yeah, information. Boink, boink, boink. Animal. So, blah, animal stuff. Magics. Knockback. Feather falling. Glass. Crystalline. Which can be updated now that we have quartz in the game. I haven't played it since then. Since before then. Cobble. Obvious. Oops. Here, why don't I use this for what it's meant to be used for? Stone slabs. Stone brick. What else we got? Metals. I can stick that in there. Planking. Mechanics. Like bits and pieces. Sand and brick. Soils. Ooh, valuable grass block. Do I have any on me? No. Another. Self-explanatory, I hope. Plants. And as such, here we'll put a couple away. And wood, or unprocessed wood. There you go. So this is the blacksmithy sort of thing. Remember, those exdentations will occur all along the way. So whenever I do get testificates in here, they will. See, now, because we've reached the top level of the village, we have more extravagant homes. And look at that. This is a support beam going right through, but you have a vaulted ceiling, which actually is not complete here. That shouldn't be visible dirt. See, I was proud of that. There's an iron block on top of that right there. At the time, that was such a new thing from us. Like, oh my god, I have enough spare iron to actually devote to a block. So yeah, apartment, apartment, apartment. At the far end, see, this is another one of the end buttresses I was talking about. I managed to merge it into the building a little bit, so that's not so bad. The larger buttresses out here are actually part of supporting the much larger palace. Now notice there's a garden over here. This is a pub of some sort, or like a cafe, something. And it has a couple of, I'm guessing maybe even an inn, because it's got a couple of rooms here, so they'll be separated at some point along the beam. But these are like be inns. They're rooms for guests, maybe a common room. And then from the common room is access to the outside. And you end up in the over garden. You can see it sort of cascades down. And from here, I think there might be a pond. I can't remember. I think there might be chutes or some sort of aqueduct thing so that water that collects can shoot off the sides, but not onto the thing. And of course, it's predictable. It goes all the way to the end. You get a good view. So I apparently have more work to do here. But there's the nether portal, sort of fake, not really. So this is all the public palace, so to speak, / village. Here, and beyond, and you notice, remember that door I showed you, that's the actual royal quarters over there. And you notice this part up here I'm not as happy with as I used to be. So we'll deal with that. So head back that direction. You notice this garden is walled off. You can't get in and out. And you head in to the royal area. Now they have their own little library. They have, oh wow. Oh. It's still on the old thing, okay. Interesting. So that's one of Caffeine's animal portraits that she did. I replaced every artwork in the game with one of hers. Well, no, some of my photography made it in, but mostly it was her stuff. And I think one from this talented artist named Lowish, who we're both a fan of. And I have a couple of my own printout, framed prints on the wall here. Well, as soon as I paint the walls again. But not again, first. So that's one of hers. The other one I took off the wall and it disappeared. We got shelves, books, this, a bed. We sleep. So this is the master royal bedroom. You notice it's nice and vaulted. There's nothing to do up here. It's just high ceilinged. And this is private. Now notice there's the stairwell on each side. So you got like the king's one and the queen's one, or whatever they call themselves. I have a way of coming up with unique titles for stuff, so they wouldn't actually be king and queen. But they each have their own stairwell, and it comes down. And notice it comes around subtly. I mean, there's not enough room for walls, but very few, except the most privileged who get to come up front, would even be able to see a royal coming around this corner. Okay, so they'd continue going down, and then they'd come out they'd emerge from the bright glare of this window onto the dais, and they'd look down upon the people, and so the people would look this way, and on a bright day, they'd just see a pair of silhouettes appear. It's almost too bad this window wasn't facing east or west, so that it would be a sunset or sunrise event. Whoops. But yeah. So the royal bedrooms. But if you keep going up, here's a study of some sort immediately above, and you notice there's a chair phasing out. There's a couple of lights. Again, I have not experimented with redstone. I will someday. But they have a nice view, right? So, and here they get to look out over their private garden. So it comes down. Let's see, they have melons. There is a way up and down right now. I used to have all my chests and stuff out here while I was doing construction. So I'll fill this back up in good time. They have their own private garden. So it's all good. that wouldn't happen. And then you go back into the study. Head on up. And it goes for a while. You get it to the Royal Plaza. I don't know what to call this. It's a deck of stone with your own portal, which kind of makes this a security risk. If the portal from which pigmen and weird things could come just happens to have direct access to the royal bedrooms, that's kind of a security risk, but you operate with the game you have. So look down below and you can see the city. It's not easy to see. The buttresses serve as major stairwells as well. And you can see the rooms are not quite complete. So there's more. But that, the village area over here is relatively complete. It just needs doors and maybe some furniture and friggin' villagers. Now, I suppose I've shown you this then. Yeah, see, isn't that nice? There's so much grander constructions people have done, but that's not bad, I don't think. So let me head out. Okay, so I have nether roads. Which way do I want to go? Each one of these is a highly measured distance. They're precise. There's a precise other portal in each direction at the exact same distance. So let me head to this one. Oh, and it was really unfair. At the time I was working on this, Caffeine was in her own world, single-player world, because this was before we tried multi. Come on, here we go again. What is with the keyboard? Every once in a while I just lose access to the keyboard, but Nether Fortress, right? So that's one. And she wasn't finding any, so she was getting jealous. Sorry, one of the drawbacks of going so far out is you are so far out. That's, of course, nice building out. And then, of course, I pierce through this and I come out right between the legs of yet another. I think this is the same fortress. But if I keep going to the end, I'm not seeing. Is this upgraded? It must be upgraded. It's just this is all pre-rendered, and so there's no quartz. There's another bit of the same one. Shoot! That was not good. Oh, man. I know I made a way up. Oh, you punk. I don't have access to cheat controls, do I? Because this is a survival game. I make a point not to get attached to them. But right about now, I just as soon not waste your time trying to... Can I do it? Game mode. See? Yeah, I didn't think so. Frig. And I don't have much left on that. Oh. Sorry, that's my VPN to something else. Seriously, shut up. Yes, go away. You did not see that. Okay, damn it all. There's the end plaza. Can I get up from there? Isn't that nasty? Which probably means it will explode out from under me any second now. Alright, that'll get me out. Apologies. Cheat, 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 cheat. Okay, good. I didn't think I was going to come out. Okay, so my original point was, look, there's a whole second one out there, see? And if you actually go around out that way and go to it, it's quite huge. And if you go to its furthest extent, you see yet a third one in the distance. So, of course, Calf, who wasn't finding any in her world, was getting quite jealous that I had so many in mine. Now, this is a slightly unfinished, as you can tell by the floor and the fact that there's a hole in the side of the thing. But Look up in the tower. Put a lot of work into that. This is a portal guarding tower thing. And unfortunately, they don't... Also, this my texture's back to purple. When I was working on this, and if you go back to episode 0, you see my altered nether textures that are a little bit brighter and more orange than purple. But here you go. See? It's not so bad, is it? It's got prongs and then little juts. And I tried varying the textures somewhat. And this, I wrote this thing down. I think there was something else here. You can see the road. Gotta have my variation in trees. Yeah, there's something out here. I don't think it's much. Maybe it's just a mine. Oh, I like that. You make a magma fall and then douse it in water. You get that neat effect. So road. Yeah, it's just a mine at this point, I think. But it goes on down. I don't think it does anything at the bottom. I alternated the textures here. Woof. I'm already up to half an hour or more. The last episode is still rendering in the background. Actually, no, episode 6. The last one, episode 7, only just got saved a little while ago. Like, to file. Okay, so there's mine shafts. I've been busy at work. Well, that's interesting. Suspended in air. Does that mean what was under it then? Oh, is it just that it was only that thin to begin with? Okay, well, never mind. Not too interesting. Woo! I like that I can sprint up these. That's quite a long way. Nice and shallow, though, in its descent. I even used one of these as part of the stairs. Okay. But yeah, there is... Well, no, that's not right. So here's this tower. And my little cobble road, which is not consistent. But see, that's kind of nice, right? It's not massive, but it's basically a landmark is what it is. So that, especially out here in the forest, you can see it from a ways, or as much of a ways off as is physically possible in this poor game. And the portal is within. Okay. I started harvesting this ice for a while, but as you may have seen in one of the chests. Under crystalline, I think. They're going to be, if I ever keep playing with this, which is not a given at this point, there are going to be 4 of those, as indicated by the fact that it goes off in 4 directions. 2 of them have been built to completion, and 2 haven't been started. But as I was getting at earlier, I actually wrote down the formula, so to speak, the sort of a cross-sectional chart going vertically of each slice up and, for as often as it repeated. So if there's a slice that was repeated 5 times in a row, I only put it once and put a little X5 next to it. But I recorded it and was able, without too much difficulty, to reproduce it on the far portal, which is where I'm heading now. The east and west portals, the portals are there. I don't remember. I think that one comes out in... I don't know. But the portals exist, but not the towers, because I started to run low on that mossy brick that you can only get from the what are they called? Not fortresses. The underground complexes where you get the end portals. Yep. Exact same distance as was in the other direction. And you know why that's really easy to measure? or a trick to it is only bring as many of these slabs with you as you actually need to make the distance. You don't have to count if you just do that. So you see this is not even, I haven't even bothered to finish it. It keeps going. I wonder what that idea was. Sorry, it has been a while. Think about it. Think about it. There you go. So this one is a bit more complete. The floor is intact. Some stuff. Where's the exit? Here's the exit. This one comes out in a swamp. Though actually there's a forest not too far away. Or no, is that me? Just with the birch? Hello? Come on. Seriously? Same tower. Same style. Oh, jungle. Off that way, maybe 250 blocks or so is one of those witch places. But I have yet to see a witch. Even when the monsters are turned on, they don't... Is there something I'm supposed to do? Or is this a chance each day that they spawn? Or are only some going to spawn? I don't know. But, hey. Someday. I know they have existed before. So, there it is. That was my city. Let me... Sorry, I'm going to indulge just a little bit longer. I should have cut it off here, but... I've been able to ramble, or at least talk about what's going on in the game, without having to get into what I ate, or politics, or describing the same thing about myself that I described in 3 consecutive previous episodes. Come on, you can do it. Arrgh. Oh, I haven't gone down into the pit. I don't even know if I should. Maybe crap. There's nothing really down there. I mean, there's a little bit. Frick. Long episode, I'm sorry. If I strike off in some random directions, like off that way, I should be able to find quartz. Just because I haven't, aside from striking out in the directions of this, I haven't really explored it. Here, home base. Right. Woo! Splish. That was quite a dive. Bear with me. How about them random sports teamers? I like that there are these little islands. They added some flavor. I did not make them. I put trees on them, but they are their own thing. So look at this. That's not so bad. This all up here is a village. It probably actually would constitute a larger village than is typical. But it's all, the doors are all facing away from each other. They should count, I hope. So you get buttress, all the way over here. And then the larger, these ones, the big ones, have stairwells that are like a 3x3. So there's just a 1-unit cord going down the center. And you see, the royal... Here's the big chamber, the audience chamber. Here's the entry. You see how you proceed along, and you go up inside and come back to the village. So the village is really the last thing that could be attacked. The village, the royals actually put themselves in the way of anybody trying to attack the village, which is a bit unusual. And, of course, completely irrelevant in this game, since no goblins or any other hostile force will ever show up to attack. But, I mean, zombies and things will spawn, but they don't. That's just because it's not well lit at this point. But yeah, see, I mean, that's a nice big Windows. I'd like to redo this spot up here because these beacons, as long as they're lit, they indicate the good health of the royals. So, if like the king passes away, one will go out and the other one will remain lit. So it's like a signal to the overall health of the civilization. If you could count a single building as a civilization, but you know what I mean. Hey! An actual octopus or squid. I haven't seen one of those in ages. The other world seems to be, or the multiplayer seems to have lost its octopi. I didn't think they counted as monsters. So I don't have ocelots out here while the thing's turned off. By the way, that little glowing spot is the stone hut I started at the beginning of the episode. So, that's kind of neat, I think. And it's organic. I mean, there was no plan at all, other than I wanted a village above, at the top of this large building. That was my only idea, and I didn't know how I was going to accomplish it. So every piece of this came about basically of its own accord and in reaction to what was going on around it. So I'm kind of happy with that. So let's see. Ow. So, okay. Here you can see that we broke into one of the underground fortresses. In fact, here I've basically mined out library. And here's the bottom of the nether spout. And I used some glass, and that cuts it off. So it's a really stupid, simple mechanism. But it cuts it off, and in a way that you can see it. So, the inverted the steps make it so you can see it, but it doesn't flow out. And there you go. These go off in extensive directions. And here's one of the 3x3 stairwells. They go up to one of the end buttresses. It's kind of cool because now it's cut off. Like it used to be that. Hey, let's not do that. It was open to the sky, but now that it's not, it's gone into cave mode, so it's actually dark up there. It's kind of too bad you can't see that all the way to the top. But, well, there it is. That's Newell, my one-player world that I haven't touched in a month or two. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Next episode should be number 9. They sure have added up quickly. I'll go back to actually working on my island tower. But before then, I'll have sketched out some Goram ideas about what the rest of the place is going to look like. So, I wish everybody a good night.